A couple follow-up questions. You said that September 30th is the date that we've got to apply for the grant, and you indicated that the amount could be 3 or 4 million, or up to 20 million potentially, and you expected that the decision for that would be based on some of the planning with this body. But give me a little more detail. What do you plan to do over the next 2 weeks that are going to give us comfort and agreeing to a number?
Well, we will, the city, you don't let me tell them anything that's not correct, okay? But we'll be able to give you our, as we reach that 30th day, we've got to get ready, we've got to have some hard stuff, those federal grants, you've seen yourself, I'm sure. So we'll show you what we're applying for. And we'll also show you what we're not applying for, which is there. And we're going to have to revisit about that in the future. That's these hard assets that will be necessary. That's that $20 million that you see floating around in the states. And so certainly we will have it into the condition, or you'll see what we're applying for. If it's awarded by the federal government to the state of Arkansas, those will be the areas we'll be studying. Now, who gets those subcontracts? That goes through the purchasing processes, everything does around here. But, most of it's going to be privatized, as you can see from the previous expenditures. So, yes, that's a totally legitimate question, which we will give you. You'll see what they're going to see. Exactly.
I guess a little bit of my concern with process then, very similar to what we saw in the session, where didn't maybe have as much detail as we needed to make an informed decision. As we've had several months past now, and you said a lot of work's been done. I mean, we're 2 weeks away, and yet we don't have the detail. And this, an issue this important that has this level of impact to every citizen in the state of Arkansas, we're not sure quite yet if we're going to, what we're applying for. We got 2 weeks to do it, and we're here today. That's concerning to me.
Well, can I answer? Sure. I really appreciate your concern, and it is a short time frame for turnaround. You may remember back from before that we gave our contractors 90 days, which is really short to do the work. The contracts weren't out until June 1. We asked them to have all these, and I have 8 or 7 different thick reports on background research that were due in August 31st. Some of that was still coming in. So we are just now getting the final reports to pull together the recommendations going forward. Until a little bit ago, we thought that we would be putting more of the IT procurement in it. We will pull that back so that it's all planning. But, for example, the call center, I mean, that is something that's required of an exchange. We want to have as good a call center as we can have, but that's not something we can plan and direct overnight. So we would use the planning funds to contract with an agency who is skilled to come in, do a study, give us a cost, how many people should work a call center, what hours should they be open for citizens, get it to the point actually of the RFP so that if on this short time frame we're having a state exchange, we're ready to put that out and get the best call center we can get. So it's those kinds of specifics, and we're working with our contractors on how much should we put in the grant for that planning phase for a call center. We would have another one for the Navigator program, another one for rating the plans. So there would be a number of individual sub-awards for distinct planning pieces, if that helps to answer any more.
So you feel confident that in the next 2 weeks you're going to have enough detail to be able to make a determination on the amount of grant, the amount you're going to request?
Yes, we have received all of those reports in draft, 3 of them in final form. They were projecting out, as we had asked our contractors to do, through implementation. So now we're having to go back, because we're not asking for that, and re-budget and say what makes sense for a 1-year continued planning. So prior to implementation. So we're having to restructure the work that's been done over the next, basically, week. Kind of my drop dead to have a good draft is next Friday.
Next round. So when would we expect for this body or some representation of this body to be able to get enough information on the specifics within the next 14 days to be able to respond to the request of Mr. Bradford, which is to essentially give an endorsement to the governor that we're in favor of this?
Yeah. Gotcha. She says it would be safer for me to tell you Monday, not next Friday. They can work all weekend.
Turn your speaker on there, speaking
Oh,
in.
excuse me. Representative, the city says that it would be safer for us to get accurate numbers to you all would be not next Friday, but the following Monday. That gives them the weekend to work it up for you all.
And if you want the not final, we could give you some rougher estimates as we're working enough sooner.
Did I say something, Representative Biviano? Did I